All right, spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about the thick of the Odyssey, so if you haven't seen it yet, just tread with caution as you watch this video.
One small step for film. One giant leap for Interfellas.
I just want to say that we are blessed to be put on this earth at the same time as Christopher Nolan, because the Odyssey...
I have a question. Do you love Christopher Nolan?
I would take a bullet for that guy.
Okay, because I think in every episode ever, even if it's not a Nolan movie, we have mentioned Christopher Nolan, which is okay. But I was just curious.
Well, he's one of the, the only modern day filmmakers, there's a couple others, who consistently deliver.
Yeah.
And I was just going to say, another masterpiece that, we were so hyped to see it, and not only did it live up to hype, I would say surpassed the hype.
Yeah, no, I've never felt a movie experience that way. Not even in terms of the crowd. The sound, right? Being immersed into, and I can't wait. We're going to see it in 70 mil IMAX, which is going to be life changing. I know the day we're filming this, we're going to be seeing that soon in California at the Chinese Theater, which is going to be fucking unreal.
Yeah. No, to touch on what you said, I've only seen a handful of movies in IMAX, but I've never felt more immersed than in this movie. The sound, there were a few scenes, and we'll dive into it, but the Cyclops, when they're at sea. I literally was shaking in my chair.
Oh, yeah.
Literally felt like I was at sea with the waves and everything. And
the storm.
Yes.
The storm sequence?
Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Fucked me up.
Oh my God.
What an insane sequence. The sound, honestly, almost gave me a seizure with the lightning flashes, but I was like this. Bring it on!
No, but...
It's like the SpongeBob character, my eyes!
I mean, what I loved was, again, I remember, I think in high school, maybe freshman year, we read the Odyssey, and, as a kid, I'm not retaining all that knowledge, but the best part is you didn't really even need to know the story of the Odyssey to enjoy the movie, right?
It could get a little too... So I read an article, or a tweet, that Nolan said his biggest problem with making this was keeping it in depth enough for the people that know the Greek mythology lore and an everyday moviegoer that just wants to enjoy it. So there were a lot of names thrown that, again, I was I don't know, fucking Argon the Megadon.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna call him Armageddon because I don't fucking know. Agmenon or
Agmenon. But some names that just didn't ring home, but it didn't confuse me at all watching it. I was never lost throughout the movie.
And I definitely think for a 3-hour movie, I didn't struggle with the pacing. I thought it was paced very well. I just will say, until they get to the Cyclops, I was okay. I kind of knew the basis already. Once the Cyclops scene hit, that movie just took off.
Yeah. I think the last, I want to say hour and a half was edge of my seat, sitting, the meme where it's
yes.
So locked into what was going on, especially, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but I guess this will drop especially when he finally made it home, but now it's he has a war on his home turf now to fight.
Yeah.
That's when I thought the movie went from insane to insane, an even higher tier.
I agree with that because I don't know about you, when I'm watching a movie now, I'm as the movie's going, moving my star rating on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
So I'm okay, this is 4.5 right now.
Yeah.
And then when he got home and Tom Holland kind of realizes after he pets the dog that okay, this is Odysseus, that fucking...
And something that I noticed, throughout it was what role does this... Zendaya. I was what role is she playing here? But then to finally realize... She's Athena, and she was the one murdered when they stormed Troy. I was wow. Finally, it was a full circle moment where you kept seeing the Easter eggs. But, so, let me ask you this, because this is how I thought about it. The only reason she was able to communicate with him, was she actually communicating with him like a god, because she is a god, or was she communicating with him in his own mind, and he was coping with it?
Isn't she the goddess of wisdom? So, I think... because she's a god. That's
because remember the whole movie was really reiterating the Zeus theory, right? Treat everybody how you'd want to be treated.
Yep.
And then she was communicating through to Odysseus, and he's we don't understand the way gods communicate, but she was the one saying you don't understand this, you don't understand that, spilling
Yeah.
or like teaching him. So
Yeah.
I'm like, she has to be a god.
Yeah, yeah. That was my interpretation.
Okay.
But I would say it's funny because stacked cast again. All these
Yeah.
Nolan movies now, everybody wants to be in one. But I thought John Leguizamo's character was probably the biggest takeaway. I mean, I know Matt Damon, he'll probably get an Oscar.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Unbelievable
Matt Damon
performance.
did an awesome job.
But I really loved John Leguizamo's character, like how they set up another blind character who, goes way back to the Trojan War with Odysseus,
Yep.
and just always, your right-hand man. And every movie we talk about, you have Frodo and Sam, you have, Goose and Maverick.
Han Solo, Chewie.
You need that guy, and I just loved how they didn't kill him off.
Yeah.
Like, I was worried about that.
I thought Robert Pattinson did a great job too.
Oh, yeah, he was...
Because, like, I feel like he's on a legendary run with his filmography right now. And a lot of the movies, he only get, like, a little role or whatever. And the only role, I wouldn't even say disappointed, but, like, that didn't really super impress me was Tom Holland. Like, I felt like he did a great job, but, like, there was no, like, depth into the role he had to play. So, therefore, I just felt like it was very...
So, I have, like, 2 comments on that. So, the Pattinson, he reminded me of Commodus's role in Gladiator. Kind of like that bitch.
Yeah.
Who, like, he wouldn't string the bow. He's hiding when the fighting's going on. And then the weapons come out. It's like, yeah, now I'm getting into it. Kind of like when Gladiator gets stabbed. Yeah, now I'll... And then about Tom Holland, though, I actually agree with you, but I actually kind of liked his character arc because in the beginning he is,
he is a child.
the bitchy-ass child,
Yeah,
the son
I
of the
guess.
king. I liked how he didn't become full-on badass, how it was still Odysseus' story.
Yeah. No, 100%. I didn't want it to take away from the journey that we went on. And I just laughed because throughout most of the movie, I was like, yo, Calypso? I'm like,
Charlize
I'm
Theron?
like, Charlize or like Anne Hathaway?
I
I
know.
think I'm staying. Give me
I
that
know.
Lotus. Like,
Well, it's funny because, like, again, I'm not, like, I know very basic of the Greek mythology and the Odyssey story. Like I said, I didn't remember.
I knew
it.
instantly he was stuck.
Yes, because of the lotus flower.
Yep. And I knew that
Percy
because of Percy
Jackson,
Jackson stuck in the casino.
the Lotus Hotel. Literally, clicked like that for me. And then same thing when they went to go visit Circe and they were showing all the animals. I knew that those were humans trapped in there. That wasn't like gut wrenching is not the right word, but just like
It was almost like they took horror movie elements
Yes.
with like the shaping of the faces
Yeah.
and stuff.
every time I eat pasta now, I'm gonna like try to not eat it that fast.
And just like look around first and make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought one thing that I really want to mention and the thing that I took away from this is just how beautiful it was shot. I felt like Nolan didn't have like an insane sense of scale like we normally see. But there were some wide shots where you were like, oh my God. But like, I think what he did great about this movie was putting you in the moment. Like, obviously all the other movies he has, it's always hand cam, like you're in the action,
Yeah.
but this one felt so different to me. Like it felt like every moment we were almost like a part of the journey.
Yeah.
And that's what really, not like a POV, but almost like, again, you
Yeah.
are one of the soldiers when you're inside the Trojan horse,
Yeah.
and you're just every single moment you were immersed in the environment.
I felt that way at most when they're at sea. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bobbing up and down of the waves, and then like the scene where they're going around the whirlpool and he can't tell them that they're gonna die, but like right then and
That
there.
was a sick moment,
Dude.
when the dead men like rose and they
Yeah.
talked to him.
Yeah, that was cool with Hades. And,
Yeah.
and that, yeah.
I was hoping, like I said, again, it's I rated it 5 stars. It's a 5-star movie, but the only thing that I wish they did, which I don't know if the tie-in is the same, that like spider-esque
Mountain
rock
creature.
monster thing.
Yeah.
I wish they did a kraken instead, because I feel like my brain always goes to like when Greek mythology when they have like the whole kraken
Yeah,
fight,
yeah.
and not seeing that, because I thought once he went into the other channel, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is gonna be a kraken,
Yeah.
like, and then it went like above, and I was like, oh shit, but not. That's like the biggest critique ever on like an amazing movie.
Yeah. One of my takeaways is the aura that Agamemnon had in the movie. Like when Odysseus opens up the gate to Troy.
like the you know what I'm talking about when the guy puts this.
But dude, when that gate opens up and he just walks through and you don't even, it's just like the silhouette of his figure with the fucking armored helmet.
And like the spine that he had on the back
Dude,
of the helmet.
like I know he was telling it in the past when John Bernthal's character was telling Tom Holland about his father. That scene, the music.
You know the two parallels I thought of when I watched that scene? Darth Vader in Rogue One walking through and it's just a silhouette of him, and the Jedi Temple March. Because the Jedi Temple March, when Anakin comes up and then you see the whole, Order 66, it felt the same to me. Like he walked in and he didn't even like lead.
No.
He just let his army and he just strolled in like, what up, motherfuckers? Like, you're all gonna die.
That's a great comparison because even like, not to stray away from that, but when Odysseus gets back to Ithaca and he's got the hood on, I literally thought of like him as a Jedi.
Yeah, because like and he's like staying hidden, staying quiet. And what I loved, and again ties to the Greek mythology, is that Agamemnon, I think I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, he's confident, boastful, cocky, but then like he dies by his wife.
Yeah.
Like he dies when he least expects it.
Yeah.
By the least person who expects it. So it's almost like that whole...
And it's like, again, another theme in the movie, like almost like be careful what you wish for. Like Odysseus is taking this long-ass journey to get home. He gets stuck with Calypso. And John Bernthal's like telling him, he's like, hey, you may not even want to go home.
Yeah.
And he had to face that own thing. Did he want to go home?
Yeah.
Because, Penelope, he's thinking, he told her to move on. Like, what is he going to come home to? Really, I guess his son? Keeping him going.
Well, so what I was expecting too, which never happened, I thought they were going to show some gods as well, like Zeus. I thought was going to be in it, or Poseidon, because they mentioned Poseidon. But I mean, not that it takes anything away, but I was just expecting it, and it never happened.
Yeah.
But question to you: do you think that Odysseus, again, Greek mythology aside, just in this movie, was like gifted to live? And I don't know if that's like the right way of wording it, but like even at the end, right? I thought he was gonna die because like he laid on the steps. I'm like, he's gonna make it this whole journey. He's gonna die because he like saw her one last time. But then he's like, I'm not dying.
Yeah.
It's like, we're gonna go sail out of here.
Yeah.
But like, he got stabbed. I don't know how many. Like, I almost thought like he was gifted by the gods in a sense.
He's a hero still. He's still a hero, so I think he was favored by the gods. Other than Poseidon, who obviously is pissed off at him because he's fucking shooting arrows at Cyclops.
Yeah, them in the eye.
Yeah, I
read that was a practical, like they built a 60-foot.
Oh, really?
Cyclops.
Oh,
and like
that's
I think what they, like obviously there was some sort of CGI used, but I think what they also did, and I kind of noticed it, was like superimpose him in there. So like it was a human acting, but then like they took it and superimposed it into the shot. That's what it looked like to me, at least.
Well, it's just funny because like you mentioned, like Homer's Odyssey was literally like the inspiration for so many stories, like the heroes, the duality of man, and you could see the inspiration. Granted, this movie came out after Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings, like taking that story, like the end of the movie that you're saying, like Odysseus and Penelope are sailing off. That's kind of like the end of Lord of the Rings when Frodo and them are going to the elf world for the afterlife almost. Yeah,
well, I seen that reel today too, where it's like, almost every Nolan film, almost every story ties back to the story arc of Greek mythology or a hero's journey. And it was interesting, like showing, right? They pulled up Cooper, and they're like, Cooper's trying to get home to Murph. They pulled up The Martian, they're like, he's trying, like they tie all these movies where it's just like, it ties back to just us as humans, right? We go through this journey in life, we don't really understand it until it's quite frankly almost over, which is upsetting, but you enjoy it throughout it, and you fight to survive and live on to tell the tale.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite scene? Because I have one in mind.
I would say my favorite, I don't know if it's necessarily a scene, but I loved, and this is something Nolan always does, I love when he gives you a piece of the puzzle but then keeps adding to it. My favorite scene was finally when they like got to the War of Troy, and they kept adding like pieces too, because you kept seeing Matt Damon look up, but like they never showed what he was looking at. And then when they finally added all the pieces together, they added like them getting out of the horse and fighting. They added the giant battle, but then they, he already flashed the moment where the head rolled, but then they showed like, oh, like he killed, Athena and took her head, and like just constantly piecing onto that overall story. That was my favorite part of the movie.
I love that. Mine was probably when Odysseus and Tom Holland when they're like, when the white like villagers are like escorting them because like they're like, oh, the king wants to meet the stranger, and then he goes full Jason Bourne. He just fucking puts the blade
priest?
The priest.
Oh,
the priest.
yeah.
Dude, that I literally looked over. I'm like, this is Jason Bourne. And it's funny because at that point, Tom Holland's got no clue that that's his father or who he even is.
Right.
And I forget the actor's name, but he's the actor from Remember the Titans.
Yes.
Left side, strong side.
Yeah,
he gets poisoned, and then you're like, okay, it's 12 on 2. And they just don't matter.
He was unstoppable. Even at the end, right? You look at how they blocked all of the suitors in.
Yeah.
And that was one of my favorite parts too.
Oh,
He tore through the suitors.
I'm a sucker for like bow and arrow. Like Legolas is my guy in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
I loved when he's like, I'll have a weapon. And then he's just literally just ripping everybody.
Yeah. You know what I always found myself laughing? They took so long to always like unbeach the boats. I'm like, yo, you guys got to get better at your escape route plans, because every time they're like, go. They're like 20 feet away, and they're like, oh, when they're caught up, those like, I don't know what they technically were.
The giants?
The giants, yeah. And they ripped that boat apart. Just, you know what was great too? There were very, very minimal moments in that movie where there was like noticeable, like, quote unquote, bad CGI.
Yeah, no.
Like the entire movie just felt like one real moment.
It did.
And, I was really intrigued to see, and it was interesting in the beginning, like the color grades were very like super orange or super blue, and then it kind of went away to like realistic, like but just again, technically you're never worried about like a Nolan movie. He's gonna shoot it amazingly. They showed the shots that didn't make the film, and you're like, yo, if these shots aren't making the film, like you already know that it's gonna look like one of the best movies.
Well, first film fully shot in the IMAX, 70 millimeter.
Yep.
And it's just crazy because I think they said they had to like change like film like every 3 minutes, so they had to like tell the actors
tell them,
to like
stop,
stay within that mind frame. And I'm like,
wow.
I can't imagine shooting it that way. And they finished filming 9 days ahead of schedule, which is crazy. They were given 100 days and they finished filming in 91. He said everybody was so spent that they couldn't go on any longer.
With the amount of work that it takes to keep 70 mil IMAX alive, but the demand. I just watched a video. They're booked for 5 weeks out. Every showing, the 2 a.m., the 7 a.m., they're all sold out. So they asked this guy who ran like the IMAX theaters, or who owns, I don't know, Regal, whatever it was. And he's like, it's hard to build 70 mil theaters and like to find the projectors to use them right. But I'm like, okay, but do it. You're going to sell
the demand,
them out.
Yeah, the demand's going to be there.
I'm not saying every theater, but like, come on.
Because Nolan, he knows that monetarily wise, he's going to make his money back, right? Budget wise, everything. But I think there's only around 47.
I think there's less.
Yeah, in the world.
Oh, in the world, yeah. In the U.S., I think
it's like 20 something in the U.S.
26 or something like that.
I mean, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Well, it's cool even just to see standard, because now obviously all the videos are coming out about how much of a major difference it is to see. And if you go to see it in standard, I'm sure you're not knowing what you're missing out on unless you see the difference.
Yeah. And it's not going to take away from the movie. You're just not going to get the full experience.
Right. I wonder how they do it, how they decide, like, compositionally. Like, do they literally just take the screen that's like this and just cut it from the middle? Or do they, like, shift it where they're like, all right, like, show a little bit of the lower portion of this screen? Because, like, I'm curious how they do that.
No, but...
Because you're not seeing the composition that he is filming for. You're seeing a cropped version of it. Like... however he's like blocking his scenes or like placing the ship in this area on the screen, like you're not getting his vision unless you see it in either IMAX, but even 70 mil is what you should see.
I think they did the comparison. They said, I think it's like a 1.43 aspect ratio, 70 millimeter. That's like 100% of what Nolan shot in.
Yeah.
Regular standard IMAX, it's like 76%.
Okay.
And then like it's like 50%.
I was gonna say it's like not
which
even.
is crazy.
Yeah,
but we didn't even talk about the score.
I know. I was just about to ask you.
Ludwig, man, that guy. He's like He's like Connor McDavid. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew, Gretzky. Then you had so Gretzky will call John Williams. Then you had Crosby, who was like Hans Zimmer. Okay. And then now we got McDavid with Ludwig. He's already got an Oscar.
Yeah.
This guy. he cooked.
Yeah.
He cooked.
Every single moment, I was picking up on it. That's how you know it's an amazing score, when you're picking up on the score as you're watching the movie. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like the flutes he was using, I don't even know if they're flutes, but like that interesting tone. One of my favorite parts of the sound design was when they did the wax with the sirens.
That was unbelievable.
And I noticed in my left ear when they put the wax in, I was like, what just happened? But I realized that they did a frequency band, and they cut the frequency from like the low and high end and made it like muffled, like you would. But you notice it in real time, like left ear, the left speakers went, right ear, the right speakers went, and now you're in this, like I said, you're in the moment.
Yeah.
And that's what Nolan does so well.
Top 3 to 5 theater experience ever.
I will say, no hate, it's not my favorite Nolan movie.
No. Listen, we both gave it 5 stars.
Yep.
I probably still have like 3 to 4 I like better, just because I love Greek mythology, but just it's not even how the movie, great storytelling. It's just I like, I'm a superhero guy. I'm always gonna like The Dark Knight better.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. This was a straightforward linear. Well, it wasn't linear, but straightforward storytelling. And maybe that's why I like other Nolan movies more, because it makes you really, like, your mind goes, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But, again, not taking away from anything from it, but people are saying it's his best film. I, quite frankly, disagree. But to each his own. I wouldn't be mad if somebody said, oh, it's my favorite.
That was going to be
Nolan
my
film.
next sentence, is like, I'm not going to say, oh, no, okay. Like
yeah,
that's the thing.
it.
Okay, this is his 13th film now. Everyone is so fucking good
Yeah.
that, like, you can argue almost anyone. Like, if you said, like, we just did the breakdown on Nolan's rankings a few weeks ago. Like, you could argue anyone. Like, Tenet, as confusing as it is, I could be like, okay, that's your favorite. I could totally see why.
Right.
Like, everyone.
Because everybody gets something different from it, too. Like, I remember all the guys we went with to go watch the Odyssey. Some of them said, like, this was my favorite movie ever.
Yeah.
And my best movie experience ever.
Yeah.
And I personally didn't feel that way, like to that extent, but for an IMAX experience, yeah, definitely top 5.
100%.
Yeah. Rogue One was I think my peak.
That's your number one?
Because you know why? Super hype. Everyone was excited. And literally just the Darth Vader scene alone at the end with a crowd that was all fucking screaming in IMAX, like hearing that lightsaber go and what ensued. Yeah. That was probably my number 1 IMAX experience. Interstellar, close to.
Number 1, Endgame, but a great movie. If you haven't seen it at this point, sorry we spoiled you.
Well, we're gonna put a warning up prior.
Yeah.
Shot amazingly well. Score was awesome. I think sound design was the best sound design he's ever done
100%.
in terms of like Foley sound effects, dialogue. You finally were able to hear what these people were saying. Like, I think he cooked. He heard you a couple weeks ago. You're like, his sound design shit. He's like, yeah. Go see the Odyssey, motherfucker. Sound design was awesome. Story was great. Pacing. At moments, I was like, I guess I was just so excited to get to the next part. So maybe that's why I felt like it's a long movie. It's 3 hours.
3 hours.
But just overall great movie. And let's dive into the segment.
Let's do it.
Can I just get some macaroni and gravy? Gravy. Tomato sauce.
So because this cast is so stacked, I think it's fair that we can pick 2 people to bring to a dinner.
I like
4
that.
of us. A little party of 4, party of 6. I don't know. We'll do
Dude,
a
he's
party
making
of 4.
$70 million money. We could take whatever we want out.
So I think Christopher Nolan, easily I would take him just to be able to talk to him and ask him some questions. Who do you want to bring from the Odyssey cast?
I mean, there's so many great actors and actresses, but we got to go
Matt
Matt
Damon.
Damon.
I know. I was thinking John Bernthal, but like he also didn't play as
we
major.
love John Bernthal.
Yeah.
That guy's in everything.
Yeah, he didn't play as major of a role in this,
Yeah.
but yeah. All right. So what would you ask Christopher Nolan?
He's made so many epic movies. Like, I want to know, A, his route on how he decides what his next adventure is.
Okay.
And B, what is his next adventure? Because
Shake him down.
we've seen him.
What's coming next?
Like, we've seen him shift from superhero trilogy to war with Dunkirk to, I don't want to call it time travel, but time travel with Tenet, and then biopic with Oppenheimer, and then he went back to like
Still storytelling, Greek
fiction,
mythology.
but yes, storytelling. So people are saying, because like the scene you mentioned earlier, is he going to do horror next? Which honestly, I could see him do a take on that. But I wonder, like, it seems every 3 years he's making something. I want to know what his next thing is.
You know what I think he's going to do? A James Bond film.
There's been rumors of that. I could see that. The thing is, though, do you see him making just one?
I don't know. I just feel like he would make a sick James Bond movie, and I think just throw some money at him and let him work.
Yeah. I just don't think he doesn't want to be held hostage by the studio.
100%.
He wouldn't be if they were to greenlight that. But that would be my question for Chris.
Okay.
What would you ask him?
I would ask him what the hardest point in his career was, and whether that is accomplishing something, like, because at least for me and for a lot of other people that are into filmmaking, whatever the case is, the ideas are all here. The dialogue can be written, but to get it visually is a whole nother battle. So I would want to know, for any movie, I mean, this one, obviously, there's so many things, and obviously they went to a lot of the locations, but like Interstellar, like, was it hard to accomplish the shots? And did you accomplish what you wanted on film?
Yeah.
So that would be a question. Or like, is that the most difficult part of your career, or was like just breaking into the film industry because he didn't go to film school, he took a different route?
Yeah.
So those are my things. Like, what was the hardest point of your career and how'd you overcome it?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Just because, like, every Nolan movie we say, like, how the do you think of that?
How do you think of it? How do you accomplish it? And how do you accomplish it in a way for people to digest it?
Yeah, that's insane.
Because imagine trying to explain Memento. Explain it in words. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a guy that gets tattoos of... the concept is so outlandish. And then to accomplish it, to be able to be digested easily. That's
right.
my question.
And
how the fuck do you do that?
And I mean, I don't know. Chris might be mad at us with this dinner of four because his brother Jonathan is just as genius as him, who doesn't get the credit.
And Emma Thomas, his wife, is the producer.
Yeah.
Who they met while making movies. So like you know how hard it is to produce a movie of that magnitude? Table of 7.
We're gonna do the family style meal.
Go to Carmine's in the city, get a million different dishes, and we'll have a big circle table. What would you ask Matt?
I'd ask Matt, just off the top of my head right now, just because, you know, his experience writing movies, not only acting in movies, like, I know him and Ben Affleck are like this. Mm-hmm. I want to know, like, does every movie he does he consult Ben Affleck on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm thinking about taking this role, and then I'm sure, like, he, like, pitches the director or whoever, hey, any roles for Ben? Or, like, hey, I'm doing a serious role. Hey, I'm doing a, you know, crime role, or I want to we got the news that there might be another Jason Bourne. I want to know
Holy shit,
like,
it's Jason Bourne.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, but I like they're probably that close where they probably do that. But that's what I would ask him.
That's a good one. I think this was one of my favorite Matt Damon movies. I would say Good Will Hunting is my favorite Matt Damon movie, but like underneath that would be this. So I would ask him, kind of similar to what you were saying, like what do you read in a script, or what determines for you to accept a role? Because as much as everyone can knock, like, oh, it's not that hard to act or whatever, it's still 6 to 9 months of your life devoted to a role, the press, and yeah, they're getting compensated, it's their job. But my point is, like, he's at the point in his career now where he can decide what he wants to do, right? He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the notoriety anymore. His name holds weight. So when you're reading a script or hearing about, like, what is the deciding factor for you to be like, yeah, I want to do this? Because, sorry to interrupt you, but Michael Caine told a hilarious story. And he said, you want to know how I decide whether or not to choose to be in a role? I read the first page and I read the last page. And if I'm on both pages, I accept it. Because he wants to be in the whole movie.
That's funny. That's funny. No,
so I'm just curious. Like,
I was going to say, not to answer your question, but I did see something that, like, they approached Matt Damon after Interstellar to do The Martian. And he originally said no. Because Ridley Scott was like, hey, I got this space movie. He's like, no, it's too similar to Interstellar. I would have just did that. And he's like, too bad. You're in it. And it was great. I love The Martian.
Yeah.
Another one, I think, based off a book. But no, this could be a great dinner.
I was going to say, I would love to have, like, the whole Odyssey cast. Come on, let's take them out to eat, wherever you want to go.
What are we getting? What is Chris ordering?
Well, if we're doing family style, we could just figure out what we could.
I don't know why. like grilled octopus sticks out to me for like Christopher Nolan. I don't fucking know why.
Quail egg. You know, like something very...
Yeah. I don't know, grilled octopus.
Grilled octopus.
It just sticks out to me. But I could also see him, even though he's not Italian, like I could see him liking like dipping bread in olive oil like before the meal. I don't know, that's just what I visualize.
Okay. So it's funny because I would think Matt Damon is like an American.
I was gonna say he's a burger
food.
guy.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but I say we switch it up. We go to Carmine's. We order giant platters of fucking chicken vodka parm, a little penne vodka, a little chicken saltimbocca, whatever we want to do.
All right, well, the invite's out there. Chris and Nat, if you guys are free, anytime, hit us up.
Just wait until we make our movie. Talk about Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, fucking Interfellas. It's destined.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and check out our other episodes.